All right, welcome back. So today we're looking at creating just a basic way to make gravity in Scratch. Pretty simple. So I'm going to go ahead and drag out a green flag. So basically when we talk about gravity, what we really want the character to do is when we hit a button, it's going to kind of jump up and then move down, right? If that button is not pressed. So we can kind of add some gravity elements to that. There's other ways to do this. This is just kind of a super simple, I think a simple way to set this up. So on the green flag, and we're going to make a forever because we wanted to check this, what we're going to set up here. And I'm going to move an if-else in here. And the reason why we want the if-else is basically what we want to do is say, when we're pressing that button, it's going to move up. Otherwise, we're going to have it move down. So we're going to go ahead and drag sensing out here and drag this right here. We're just going to use the space bar. And then if you go to motion, we're going to change, now we could do this in steps, but I prefer just to change the axis, the X location or the Y location. And Y location is what we're going to use to move up and down. If we wanted to, we could have it go side to side, but obviously that wouldn't be gravity at that point. And then we're going to change the Y, drag that in as well. So this one, if we're pressing space, we want it to move up. And this one, we're going to say -5. And these numbers could be whatever you want it to be. I just chose this is going to move higher than what it would normally do if it was just running. So if I hit the green flag, it's going to immediately start moving, right? But when I press the space bar, it allows the character then to move up. And I can hold it down and keep moving them up. Now the one issue with this is if we get to the bottom, well, he's going to keep going. Right, so we could set up a situation where we have another if here, and we're going to say when it reaches a certain point on the y-axis, or maybe touches the edge, we're going to have it stop. And we'll discuss too, if we did set that up where on the edge, you kind of have an issue with up here, but we'll go ahead and fix this real quick. So you drag another if out here, we can keep it in that forever, and we're going to drag this out right here. And say that if it's on the edge, we want it to change the Y. Change the Y. And let's keep it the same as what this is. So we'll make this 5. Okay. So let's go ahead and run this now. Now if I let it go, it's going to go to the bottom and just stop. And what's really happening is it's trying to move down by 5, but I've also told it to move up by 5. And that should work if we want to keep it from going any lower. However, if we go up here, the same thing is going to happen except in reverse. Okay, so that's a bit of a problem, and it won't move back either because now we have that same number, so it's going to just stop and then it's not going to move. So what we might want to do, if you were to really make this into a game, is you would want to go over here to backdrops. Oops, sorry. And we can change our backdrop. So we could add a square, and just fill it in with, let's say, we'll make green here. All right, so let's just go ahead and we'll give it a line across there. I could have changed the outline, but that's okay. So now, we got to zoom out a little bit. Let's move this down. And say there's no line. All right, so here's our green. So now what we could do is instead of, now we're going to go back to our character here and go back to the code. And instead of doing on the edge, what we can do is drag this off, and we're going to go to sensing, and we're going to say that we're going to, when it touches a color, it's going to stop. So I can go here and select this color that we chose for the bottom, and now it stops here. And when I click this, we go up here, it doesn't impact that, and allows us then to have a floor basically of where that character is going to move. The other way you could do this as well, besides the color, is you could say use an operator and say when the Y position gets to a certain number, we're going to kind of have it push back. But this works really easy. And we'll talk more about that in another video about using a different method to have it stop. But this will set you up with a pretty easy gravity situation. And again, you could modify these depending on what you wanted to do. All right, hopefully that helps you, and good luck with your coding.